Hi, I'm Jenna Anderson, the Public Relations Manager here at Growing Power, and I'm joined by our Board Chair, Mark Ronay, and our CEO, Tim Thompson. And I'm asking them some questions to help share, in their words, the reasons behind the upcoming increase and what it means for you, our members. Mark, before we dive into any details, can you share what guides your decisions when it comes to serving our members?
Important things in our discussions with our board. And really it's providing the most reliable electric service to our members and providing that super reliable energy at the lowest price that we can. And that's a balancing act between price and reliability. We want to have the co-op be a great place to work for our employees. Again, that feeds back to the reliability. Without great employees, there's no chance we're going to have the great reliability that we do. And we want the co-op to be a valuable member of our community.
Tim, can you share what guides your decisions when it comes to serving our members?
Yes. At Growing Power, our goal, much like Mark said, is to provide our members with safe, reliable power at the lowest possible price. Every decision we make is guided by what is in the best interest of our members. As we make decisions, we need to keep our focus on the main thing, which is our member owners who we serve.
And Tim, so you mentioned members a few times. What do you want members to know about how seriously we take any decision that affects their monthly bill?
Yeah, decisions that affect members' pocketbooks are taken very seriously. Rate increases are not taken lightly. We do everything we can to be good stewards of the members' dollars and look for ways to cut expenses before ever raising rates. The cooperative is owned by the members we serve, local people. There is a local connection with the member owners who we see in the community, whether that be at a ball game, a church, grocery store. We care about our neighbors, and raising rates is a last resort.
How about you, Mark? You're also a member and our board chair. How seriously do you take these decisions that affect other members' bills?
Well, all of the board members are in fact cooperative members. I mean, that's the way this works. So we're consumers as well. We understand that while Growing Power provides an excellent value, it is important to balance low cost with long-term reliability. You can do it cheaper for the short term, but that's going to affect your reliability in the long term. So we need that balance. So we do talk amongst ourselves at our board meeting extensively about the feedback we're getting from our members, about what we think is reasonable, and we rely on our staff to help us weigh those decisions about balancing rates with reliability.
Right. Mark, you talk a lot about the balance, and so you alluded to this just recently, but how do you approach as a board decisions that impact affordable and reliability? Like how you talked about it being a balancing act, so how do you guys make those decisions collectively?
Well, you look at our history, and Growing Power has had amongst the lowest rates of any co-op in the state of Minnesota. We've been very competitive. We've been very good at controlling costs. So there's not a lot of fluff in our system. So what we have to do at this point in time is to say, how are we going to keep our great record of reliability in place? And knowing that is going to be paid for by today's consumers as well as tomorrow's consumers. So we balance that idea of how much do we take out of current operations, how much of these improvements and these and this long-term plan do we take on additional debt, which we are very careful about. But that's the balancing act. Pay for it now, pay for it later, keep up our reliability, and keep those rates as low as possible.
Awesome. Led to the need for the retail rate adjustment in 2026.
Yes, the primary reason for the retail rate adjustment is our wholesale cost of power from our power supplier Basin Electric is increasing 10% effective January 1st, 2026. The reason our wholesale cost of power is going up is because Basin Electric is building new baseload power plants and transmission lines to ensure we have adequate power supply and reliability at the power supply level. The new power plants and the new transmission lines being built are at a much higher cost than the current plants and transmission lines that have been serving us in the past. And these all has to be incorporated into our rate base at a higher rate. As these much needed power plants are added to the generation fleet, these higher costs will need to be added to that rate base, and this additional cost will cause us to have to pass that additional cost on to our members in order for the cooperative to maintain its financial strength.
Mark, what conversations did the board have around like the timing of this rate increase for our members? Like why now versus delaying it?
At the board level, we talk a lot about what's driving this kind of extraordinary increase in our costs. The equipment, whether it's the trucks that we use or the line that we put up or the poles that we use, the incredible increases that are being passed along to us by our suppliers, and our people shop, and we do our best to get the best prices on all of this. But really since COVID, we've just seen a tremendous increase in the price of all these materials. We've seen, well, and as Tim has talked about, our power supplier Basin is a very reliable partner. It's actually a co-op that's owned by the co-ops. So it is the best way for our long-term stability of our pricing is to buy our power as much as possible from Basin. So that balances both reliability and low price. At the same time, competition for employees has never been stronger. And frankly, we have great employees. So they are desirable in terms of other people wanting to poach them, to put it bluntly. So we need to be competitive and fair on our wages. And we have a lot of conversation about our employees and how to build the best culture as well, not just pay, but the best culture. And then we have a lot of, the balance is how much do we put on the tab for later and how much do we pay for now? Because we are not going to sacrifice reliability. I mean, that is the board's mantra. Reliability is super important. Low cost is important. And so how do we balance those again? So how much do we pay for now and how much do we pay for later?
Tim, you just shared that the wholesale power costs have increased about 10%. Can you just explain a tiny bit how that increase impacts our members directly?
Yeah, about 2/3 of our overall costs of the cooperative is wholesale power costs, which is by far our largest expense. So a 10% increase on 2/3 of our overall cost has a significant impact on our costs. Then those are the costs that we pay to Basin Electric for the electricity. That increased cost is not something we can absorb, so we need to pass that cost on to the members in terms of higher rates, again, to keep the financial strength of the cooperative.
Sure. And I have a couple questions that maybe members are asking. Mark, I'm going to ask you the first one. One of the most common questions that we hear is why can't the co-op cut more to avoid raising rates? And I would just ask you to respond. How would you respond to that if a member comes to you in the public? And Tim, if you have anything to add after Mark, that'd be fine.
I would say Crow Wing has a history of really very competitive and frankly some of the lowest rates, as I talked about, in the state for co-ops. There's not a lot here to cut. Cutting would be changing reliability. It's just not a good way to go. It's not the right way to do things. And again, because we're working off a relatively low base, we still are an excellent value. And as long as we can provide an excellent value and we can provide the idea that, energy saving even ideas for our members, it's not just we're going to raise your rate too bad, but we want to give you as many options as possible to help you as co-op members, but also, like I said, there's no fat. I mean, it's a very lean, historically leanly run organization, and now, frankly, we have to pay the piper. There's no more to cut. We've got to keep the reliability up. We're going to have to pay more.
Yeah, Tim, do you have anything to add to that a little bit?
I would just add that we have made some recent cuts in our planning process. We scrubbed, as Mark said already, a very tight budget to look for ways to cut expenses from that budget. We cut about $1 million from the budget, but that's not near enough to mitigate and offset the higher cost of the wholesale cost of power.
Sure. And Tim, I'm going to ask you, because this is more of the electrical co-op question, is why don't seasonal population swings offset costs? Can you clarify how costs are shared among all members year round?
Sure. This past year, we worked with an independent rate consultant by the name of Power Systems Engineering to do what is called a class cost of service study. This study takes all of our costs and allocates them to the appropriate rate classes to ensure fairness and equitableness across all the rate classes. This study helps us ensure that the cost causers are the cost payers. As members, we all need to make sure that we pay our own fair share of the cooperative's costs.
Perfect. Mark, what steps at the board level do they take to ensure that these decisions are fair and in the best long-term interests of the co-op?
We have robust conversations at our board meetings. This is not a rubber stamp kind of board. We discuss things in earnest. We don't rush our decisions. We don't make an important decision just at the very first meeting. We have time to delve into these things, to ask questions, to think about it, and come back and learn more about it. So I would say that, and then just the culture of the organization is what is in the best long-term interest. I wish all of our members could fully understand the commitment that our employees make to making sure that we're doing the best job that we can here for you. I think that the pride that people take in delivering this super reliable electric stream that we provide, at the same time keeping it with very competitive rates. People need to understand that.
Can you explain how this increase ties into our construction work plan and system upgrades?
We need to make sure that our local electric grid that delivers the power to the members continues to be very reliable. Our construction work plan looks forward 4 years to identify the projects we need to do to replace aging infrastructure and also how to manage growth to ensure reliability for the membership. The aging infrastructure, those poles out there, the wires out there, needs to be upgraded over time to ensure reliability. As these older assets are replaced with the new equipment, they come at a much higher cost at today's current cost. The cost of electrical equipment has increased significantly over the past 5 years. We have a reliable distribution system, and we want to make sure it is reliable over the long run for the membership.
Mm-hmm. Mark, members consistently tell us that reliability is their top priority. How does this adjustment help us maintain or improve it?
It's great that people voice their opinion. It helps us in our decision-making process. And as I've talked about, reliability trumps all else. I mean, if you have cheap power, but it's non-reliable, that is not a good service for our members. So our conversations, whether it be work plans, long-term capital, who we buy our power from, any number of these decisions, how we staff, these are all the kind of decisions that are made where reliability is first and foremost. Reliability, and when I say reliability, I always mean safety too, because obviously safety is a primary concern for our employees and our customers, and reliability.
Mm-hmm. Tim, what would be the risks if we chose not to make these investments today?
You know, there's been several industry reports in recent years that point out that the demand for electricity is outpacing the supply of electricity. Power plants and large transmission projects that need to be built take several years to design and build. Each year we wait to build, the cost continues to go up. So the risk, if we don't make these investments today, is a less reliable grid in the future, as well as a higher cost grid in the future.
Mark, I'll start with you. If members are concerned or they have questions, what's the best way for them to reach out?
Well, I would say look on our website and talk to your local rep, the board member who represents your area. or my contact information is in there. They can certainly feel free to contact me about concerns that they have. So we're here. This is what we signed up for. So please let us know what you're thinking.
Tim, how would you say if members are concerned or have questions, what's the best way for them to reach out?
Yeah, you bet. Again, we're the local co-op, and we're here to serve the members. Members can call our office and speak to one of our customer service team members. That would be a good option. Our employees are so helpful. I can assure you that in recent weeks, as we get closer to the implementation of a rate increase, we've had a lot of discussions, a lot of conversations, a lot of meetings internally to make sure that we are ready to answer those questions when the members call in. Yes, we are here to serve you. Give us a call. Call any of us here at our co-op. We are ready to serve you and answer your questions and help you in any way we can.
Tim, what commitment can you make to members as the new CEO as we move into the next year?
You know, members can rest assured we are going to continue to serve you to the best of our ability. We will continue to focus on providing the most reliable service at the lowest possible price, provided by our wonderful, dedicated employees.
Awesome. Mark, what gives you confidence that this is the right path forward for our cooperative?
Well, we're very happy to have Tim on board, new leadership at the very top. This is something that gives us a great deal of confidence. Also, we've had some changeover on our board, so we are looking at things in a new way. We've turned over, by the end of this next year, we'll have turned over almost the entire board within recent history. This gives us new eyes to look at things, and we're not the same old way of doing things at all. That's not what crowing is. You know, just as an example, you know, we're pushing forward with a technology initiative that will put us at the very forefront of Minnesota co-ops as it relates to the use and the implementation of new technologies. That's not, when you say rural cooperatives, that's, you know, maybe that's something that people aren't expecting, but that's just one of the initiatives that we're pushing forward. The idea is we're not standing still. We know our area is growing. We know that we have to be adaptable. We have to be responsive. We want to provide this reliable power at that reasonable cost. As I said, all of our decisions are member-focused. So we have a great board. We have a wonderful leadership team. I'm very excited about the future. I think we can do great things together.
Tim, any final message you'd like our members to hear directly from you today?
You know, while no one likes rate increases, you as the member owners of this cooperative are investing in your future by building much-needed power plants, transmission lines, and modernizing our local distribution grid that's only going to help provide you with great reliability into the future.
How about Mark? Do you have any final message that you'd like members to hear directly from you as the board chair today?
We're doing our best as a board. And we know the employees are doing their best. We want to hear from you if there's something that you're concerned about. This is your cooperative, and this is our cooperative. We're in this together, and as I said earlier, you know, we can do things better when we know what's of the most important to our customers, and that's you. Our customers are our members. So let us know what you're thinking. Get involved a little bit. Come to our annual meeting. That would be a nice start. Or as we have some regional meetings as well. Stay in touch. Educate yourselves. If electricity is important to you as you say it is, it's your responsibility to educate yourself on this too.
Okay, well, thank you, Tim and Mark, for your time and expertise today. For any information about the cooperative, please visit our website at cwpower.com. We have blogs, we have newsletters that's talking about the co-op, it's talking about industry news and anything. It's like your source of information. Also follow us on our social media channels. We're posting about lots of things that's going on and what makes our cooperative special. So like Mark said, we want you to get in touch with us, get yourself educated. We're here to educate you, and we're happy that you're tuning in and listening to what we have to say. Thank you.